Apple is moving forward with its project to develop a tabletop robotic device, according to Bloomberg's Mark Gurman. Now, obviously, there aren't a ton of details surrounding this new product that could come as soon as 2026, but what we do know is that this device could feature a large iPad-like display mounted on a thin robotic arm that would allow the display to tilt up and down and rotate a full 360 degrees. And it would serve as a smart home command center, a video conferencing machine such as for FaceTime calls, and a home security monitoring tool. Now, the tabletop robot would leverage Siri and Apple Intelligence, allowing it to respond to an array of verbal commands, recognize different voices, and automatically orient the display to face the users in the room. Now, there are a few devices that already exist out there that Apple is seemingly pulling inspiration from. So what comes to mind is like Amazon's Echo Show or a Google Nest Hub smart display that can basically show you all of the smart home controls. It can take video calls, answer a wide variety of inquiries or commands with the help from either assistant like Amazon's Alexa or the Google Assistant, depending on which device you have. These have been around for quite some time, and I've always wanted Apple to dip its toes into that field. Now, the following you around aspect is a bit interesting because this kind of reminds me a lot of the Facebook Portal Plus with kind of the design of the tall stand that had a camera on the top with a giant screen attached to the camera, and it could sort of follow you around the room while you had conversations with friends and family. I really like the idea of this hardware, but not many people, myself included, really trusted or wanted an always-on Facebook camera in our homes. Apple has also already kind of had this ability for iPads and Macs to follow your movement around a bit with its center stage feature, but the inclusion of a robotic arm that can fully rotate 360 degrees, it can tilt the display up and down, that's sort of a game changer, especially if Apple Intelligence and Siri is really getting better in the next coming years. Like, imagine if I asked a question and it was able to recognize my voice and immediately find where I'm at in the room and shift the display over. And then if my wife does the same thing, it'll also shift over to her. That would be really cool. Now, why Apple is deciding to all of a sudden prioritize this project over others is interesting. Perhaps because Kevin Lynch is now in charge of this venture, and since he was also in charge of the self-driving car project that got canned recently, this could be next on his agenda. Apple is also rumored to be selling this device around the $1,000 mark, which to me actually doesn't seem that bad if you think about maybe you're getting a really good HomePod-like speaker as the base, and then hopefully you get the same amount of functionality on that display like an iPad. And if that's the case, I think something like that could do fairly well, especially if that display is removable and then it just becomes an iPad, although I don't know if that's going to be the case. But if Apple Intelligence does improve and Siri improves dramatically, I could see having FaceTime calls with family no matter what room you're in, being able to watch content while cooking dinner and it just follows you around. Having something like that with smart home hub and security monitoring and capabilities just seems really appealing to me and hopefully a lot of people out there. But of course, I would love to hear from you in the comments down below. What do you think about all of this new tabletop robotic venture that Apple seems to be moving forward with and hopefully coming out in 2026 or 2027? Let me know in those comments down below. This is Dan with MacRumors. Thanks so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you around in the next video.